What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It's your first time stopping by the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back. I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'm presently up here waiting on the senator for the state of Wisconsin to call me back directly. I got some things in the works I'm trying to get accomplished. And I'll explain all of that later on. But right now, guys, I want to talk about a story that I meant to drop last week, but I waited a little bit about it, and then I forgot totally about it, and then it was brought back up to my attention yesterday. And I figured I would, make some calls today and jump on this thing right away. Now, the story I'm talking about, and this is a hard story for me to do, because, the victim was only 5 years old. The story's out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shout out Wisconsin. And it's the story about 5-year-old Prince McCree, pictured here. This little boy, ladies and gentlemen, was beaten really badly to death, stuffed in trash bags, and discarded. He was reported missing October 25th and was found in a dumpster October 26th after a massive manhunt for little Prince was launched. If you want to know who did it, days later they come up and they find out who the killer was and his accomplice. Killer was a 15-year-old kid that lived in the same apartment home, not in the same home, but like different units within a house that they turned into an apartment. The 15-year-old kid named Eric Mendoza, who's presently locked up and has another story in itself about how crazy this kid was, is the killer. And he was aided by a 27-year-old man named David Pietara. I'm at a loss for words. A 5-year-old kid, a sweet kid at that. I want you to look at this little boy's face. Look how happy he is. He could be anybody's child, anybody's little brother. Just look at the video and we're going to come back and talk about this stuff for real.
At 5, beaten, bound, and thrown away in a dumpster. They are some gruesome new details revealed in the death of 5-year-old Prince McCree.
Fox 6's Aaron Maben joins us live in Milwaukee. And Aaron, prosecutors now have 2 people charged, including a teenager.
Ted and Stephanie, less than a week ago, Prince McCree went missing, leading to a grid search, a massive search around this area. And then ultimately, police found that 5-year-old's body in the dumpster behind me. Today, prosecutors charged a 27-year-old Milwaukee man and a teenager. Prince McCree had a big smile. He loved Spider-Man and just started kindergarten. Family members say they're holding on to those memories as prosecutors detail a horrific death. Prosecutors charged 27-year-old David Pietara and a 15-year-old with first-degree intentional homicide. At this point, Fox 6 isn't naming the teenager. Police found McCree's body in a dumpster last week after his mother reported him missing, sparking a search. Prosecutors say the defendants lived in the same home as Prince and his family. In their search for the body, police went into the basement where Prince played video games. That's where prosecutors say they talked with Pietara. A police canine smelled decomposition on some sweatshirts. Police say they also found blood. In a police interview, prosecutors say Pietara initially denied knowing where Prince McCree was or what happened to him. But eventually, prosecutors say he told police he walked in on the 15-year-old choking and beating Prince with a golf club. Prosecutors say the teenager told police he was playing with Prince and got rough. Prosecutors say both defendants played a role in the boy's death. Prosecutors say when Prince's body went motionless, Pietura said, "We got to clean it up." Prosecutors say they stuffed Prince's body in garbage bags. Prosecutors say surveillance video captured the two carrying Prince's body before tossing it into a dumpster. During an interview, prosecutors say Pietura disclosed a 15-year-old had talked for some time about wanting to kill someone. He said the teenager never liked Prince and discussed wanting to kill him. After prosecutors charged both of those defendants, I talked to Prince's mother on the phone. Obviously, she was very heartbroken because she received this information today as well. They are both expected to go through court this week. That 15-year-old will be going through juvie court tomorrow. Ted?
Aaron, I want to go back to something you said about Pietura and the 15-year-old living in the same home. Are they related? Were they renters? What do we know about that relationship between them and this young victim?
Yeah, when looking through the criminal complaint, Ted, it appears that this home is a multi-unit home. The criminal complaint says the 15-year-old's mother owned the home, so he lived there with his mother. Pietura lived in the basement, and Prince's family lived in the home as well. So a number of different people lived in that home. It does not appear that the 15-year-old and Pietura are related, though, Ted.
Hey guys, that's the what the media said, and that's horrific. It's horrific how they did that child. And I'm gonna tell you something. This dude right here, David Patera, is lucky I do not know him, because it would be on site with this dude. This is one of the hardest stories I ever had to cover, guys. I swear to God. And it's hard. Stuff like this takes something out of you. Now, I want to read this to you, and it's going to be hard for me to read this, but these stories have to be told. Watch this. Look at this article that tells everything they did to poor little Prince McCree, a defenseless 5-year-old boy, and they savaged him. Listen, and listen closely. A young boy was found blood-soaked, bound, and gagged in a dumpster after he had been stabbed to death one day after he went missing from his home. 5-year-old Prince McCree went missing from his multi-family home after the young boy had been kept home from school the day he was feeling sick because he was feeling sick. His mother allowed him to play video games in the basement with a man named David Pietura, pictured up here, a resident of the same home, while his mom took a nap. When Prince's mother woke up, she discovered that her son was gone. Pietura and another individual, 15-year-old Eric Mendoza, who also lived in the same house, initially denied knowing anything about Prince's whereabouts. Concerned, the family contacted the police, triggered the search operation using K9 units. Prince's lifeless body was discovered on October 26th, a day after the search initiated, reported missing, in the dumpster near the multi-family home in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he lived. His family was left devastated, especially his father, who expressed his grief in court, addressing Mendoza with tears, accusing him of breaking up their family. Listen, guys, this is when it gets wild. During the investigation, bloodstains were found in the basement where Pietura and Mendoza had been. Pietura, who lived in the basement, initially claimed that he and Mendoza were merely roughhousing. Security footage from a nearby residence doorbell camera revealed Pietura and Mendoza carrying a garbage bag through an alleyway. The investigation later unveiled the horrifying and tragic sequence of events. Prince's mom is said to have last seen him on the morning of October 25th when she decided to keep him home from school because he was sick. The child apparently wanted to go to the basement and play video games, which he often did with Pietura. But when the parent checked on them later, the basement was empty with blood on the cement floor near the carpet runners. According to the criminal complaint, Pietura and Mendoza confessed to assaulting Prince, subjecting him to unimaginable torture. Pietura admitted to seeing Mendoza choke Prince in the bedroom until he was motionless. When the child was no longer moving, Petura said, we got to clean it up. Then when they used duct tape to tie Prince's hands and feet, according to the account, to muffle his screams in case he wasn't dead, they stuffed rags in Prince's mouth and then covered it with tape. As the child appeared to come to, Mendoza allegedly said, we need to shut him up. Petura then punched the boy before Mendoza stomped on his head 10 times as he continued to whimper. Pietri then dropped a 30-pound dumbbell on his head. Assuming he was dead, they stuffed his body in garbage bags, but took turns hitting him in the head with an iron wedge gold golf club when he started making noise again. Then they tossed him into a dumpster, according to the document. This case takes a controversial turn when it was revealed that despite the severity of the situation, authorities did not issue an Amber Alert for Prince when he went missing on October 25th. The Wisconsin Justice Department stated that the case did not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert due to the lack of suspect description or suspect vehicle. You guys keep that in mind because that's where I come in. That's the horrific end of the life of 5-year-old Prince McCree. Got a 27-year-old man enabling a 15-year-old psychopath to hurt a 5-year-old kid. Did you hear what I said? 27-year-old enabling a 15-year-old monster to prey upon a 5-year-old child. I want you to look at this little boy. Look at him. Look at the sparkle in his eye. Look how happy he is. He just started kindergarten this year. Love Spider-Man. Love video games. And I'm sure he loved going down there and playing with Mr. Petura. It was stated that the 15-year-old, the motive of why he did this was because he just wanted to kill somebody. And him and this 15-year-old guy, this 27-year-old guy, spoke about this multiple times. Prince, the 15-year-old boy, it'd been found out that he hated Prince. You 15 years old, how you hate a 5-year-old kid? And they chose him as the victim with the 27-year-old setting the whole thing up. Because he went down there with the 27-year-old first, and all of a sudden the 15-year-old show up. Talking about he walked in there. I ain't falling for that. It's your apartment. You have control. Then he said, oh, we all were roughhousing. How can you roughhouse with a fucking 5-year-old? Huh? How can you roughhouse with a 5-year-old? You didn't know he had a dad and a mom that lived in the same building as you? You ain't think nothing was going to happen. Did you hear what they did to him? They tried to attempt to kill him, 2 times? And he didn't die. He suffered. Beat him in the head while he whimpered. Stomped on his head. 5 years old. You see how big that boy is? That's a big dude. A grown man allowing this to happen, and he sat there sanely and watched it. I told you, there needs to be a massive cleansing in this country. And it sounds messed up, but when I say cleansing, I'm not talking about, dispatching people all together. We need to get an island and just throw people on it. For real. Buy a big island and just put a bunch of people and let them ravage themselves. This is cruelty and hate at an all-time high for me. I've covered child abusive cases, I'm sorry. But this one right here is so descriptive and graphic. And I mean, I know he felt every blow. And if parents feel defenseless because they can't get their get back. This is hard, man. It's hard to see these. The reason why this stands out too, yesterday was his funeral. Yesterday was his funeral. They laid him to rest yesterday. Now it's leaving the family to pick up the pieces of why they did him like that. There's nothing but hate. Nothing but hate. He stayed home because he was sick. You know how kids are. They don't feel good. All of a sudden, when they know they're not going to school, they're up and, oh, I feel better. Can I go play video games? Yeah, I'm going to take a nap. Because he was still in the home that she trusted. And to have that happen, and they sit up there and lie, we don't know where he was at. And then they come in there with luminol and stuff and see blood on the stuff floor. Clothes got the smell of decomposition because you're so stupid, you didn't get. They're on camera taking his body to the trash and discarding him as such. They covered his mouth in the torturous beating in case he woke up, and he did. And they did him dirty, y'all. They did him dirty. But I'm going to tell you something. If you think the rabbit hole don't go deeper, check this out. This is two stories in one. Let's talk about 15-year-old Eric Mendoza. This guy right here. And it's a sad, sad situation that what happened to Prince McCree. But I don't think if he wasn't the victim, somebody else would have been. This guy is certified loony. This guy right here give off Jason, Friday the 13th, and Michael Myers vibes. No mercy. Looking for stuff. A psychopath. Look at this video. This happened 2 days prior, and they linked it together prior to him killing 5-year-old Prince McCree. This will blow your mind. Look at this.
Patrick and Joyce, that all happened within just 25 minutes of one another. One of those happening right here at the very busy intersection of Sherman Boulevard and Center. Now, Milwaukee police, they did respond to all three of these stabbings back on Monday, October 23rd. That's 2 days prior to the killing of Prince McCree. As Milwaukee police investigated the death of 5-year-old Prince McCree.
The family is they're struggling. They're going through right now.
A revelation. Police say their homicide suspect, 15-year-old Eric Mendoza, had also been on a stabbing spree. On October 23rd at 6:50 p.m. near 42nd and North, police say an 18-year-old on his phone was stabbed in the back, and the attacker took off running. At 7:07 p.m., less than a mile away, a second reported stabbing at 35th and Center. A 14-year-old boy walking home from his grandma's stabbed in the shoulder. Then 8 minutes later, at 7:15 p.m., a half mile away.
2658 North Sherman Boulevard, 2658 North Sherman Boulevard, stabbing.
Police responded to a third stabbing at Sherman and Center. This time, a 38-year-old woman sitting at a bus stop told investigators someone stabbed her in the back of the neck. 2 days later, on October 25th, Prince McCree's family reported the boy missing. Investigators found his lifeless body in a dumpster on October 26th. Police say during their interrogation of Mendoza, he admitted to the stabbing, saying, quote, he felt a rush from stabbing each victim. Police uncovering this knife they say was used in the attacks.
He admits to not only committing the brutal murder of 5-year-old PRM, but then also admits to stabbing multiple members in our community in the back, in the neck, because he had nothing better to do. Mr. Mendoza represents a danger inside his home. He represents a danger outside of his home.
12 News asked Milwaukee police why they did not alert the public to the stabbings Monday evening. They turned down our request for an interview, but in a statement said, at the time, there wasn't information that connected these incidents together.
Hannah, investigators say surveillance video shows at least one of the stabbings.
Right, that stabbing is over at 42nd and Center. Milwaukee police do just describe that surveillance video as showing a young man on his phone over in that area when someone comes up from behind and stabs him in the back. Now, we do know that all three of these stabbing victims did go to the hospital on October 23rd. All did survive.
Hannah Hilliard reporting live in Milwaukee tonight.
Y'all see that? You see that? This 15-year-old, 2 days prior to him assisting in the death of 5-year-old Prince McCree, stabbed 3 people. A man, 18 years old, 14-year-old boy, and a 38-year-old woman. Why? Because he was bored. What did I tell you on the videos I was talking about with these teenage crimes? They be bored. Let's just go mess with somebody because we feel like it. Perfect example right there. To all the naysayers that think I'm lying, you see it. See, I don't turn a blind eye to the bullshit. A lot of other people do. A lot of people cover these stories and don't go back to them sometimes. But this is something that's messed up. 5 years old, father hurting. He did a story. Mother devastated because she gave him the okay to go down there to his death sentence. Imagine how these people feel, y'all. Wait, let's be empathetic. Imagine how these people feel. I know the father is having a hard time consoling the mother. She's hurting, y'all. They buried him yesterday. Empty feeling. Never be filled. Sweet little boy. Happy. Potential. And that's the thing. This dude, David Patera or whatever, 27 years old. Look at him. Look at him. You know he living at home with his people, his mom and them. And if he do, he ain't happy with himself. That's incel written all over it. Playing video games, 27 years old, in the fucking basement. Give me a break. Mendoza's mother owns the house they in. They renting from. Go figure that. Patora had to let him know Prince was down there. I think he set him up. It smelled like a setup to me. Oh, I walked in and I saw him beating them with a golf club and choking them. They were playing, were they? How do you play choking a kid and beating them with a golden iron golf club? That's something people pick up in scary movies to fight an intruder off. I guarantee you guys. The reason why he hated little Prince, because Prince looked up to him. And you know how you have little kids that follow you around and do what you do because they look up to you because they're bigger people. He don't know nothing about their characters. He just feels as though he belongs because he's around an adult and a child that looks like an adult that has some freedom. Do you agree or disagree? He was just doing what little boys do. Look up the people that he wanted to be like, and he fucking killed them. You hear me? They killed him. For what? For what? That's a bunch of innocence that can't be replaced. It can't. Let me get off of this. Listen. Amber Alert, they coming down on the people with Amber Alert because they didn't report it because they didn't have a suspect, number one, or a vehicle that he was, or method of how he was taken. So I don't know how the Amber Alert system works. So I guess a missing child doesn't count unless somebody takes them in the car or something. What, I don't want to tell you about the conversation I'm trying to have with the senator. A petition is trying to be launched about having a different type of alert that's named after Prince McCree, hopefully, if it can get done. And I'm all on board. Ms. Johnson, you can use my platform. I'll be a poster boy for it. I'll push for it. Every child counts. They're trying to do a certain type of Amber Alert for just children missing that go outside of this. So this doesn't happen again. We can't have another Prince McCree. They want to name the alert after him. This is all in the works. I'm on board with it. Senator Johnson, if you want to use my platform, I'm sure my subscribers, we all care, and it'd be an honor to help you. So contact me back, and we'll take it from there. But listen, guys, I wanted to drop this story. I mean, this thing is, it bothers me. I'm glad I held it together. But I mean, I'm a very visual person when I talk about stuff, and I understand that little boy loved them strangers, and they hated him. And the 27-year-old wanted to see what would happen when the 15-year-old released his hatred and wrath for a 5-year-old innocent child. This is no different than somebody, a grown person or a teenager, torturing an animal to see how much damage it can take. This is devilish behavior, and it shouldn't be tolerated. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. May Prince McCree rest in peace, and his family receive justice. See you in the next video. Take care.